Hi, my name is Dr. Kirk Godice. I'm a sports chiropractor and owner of Advanced Chiropractic and Rehab here in Olathe, Kansas. And today we're going to go over a dynamic stretching and flexibility warm-up routine specifically for running. So first off, I don't want to chat too much, but let's talk a little bit about dynamic versus static stretching. So static stretching is what you may be accustomed to. That's where you just hold one position for between 10 seconds to 30 seconds up to several minutes. And really the current consensus is that it's not the best thing to do before an event, simply because your warm-up, the purpose of it is that it prepares your body for what you're about to do to it. And hopefully when you're running, you're not holding one position for 10 seconds and then switching positions and holding that for 10 seconds or more, right? You're oscillating, you're bouncing, you're moving dynamically, and so we want to emulate that with our warm-up. So in regard to the sequence that we'll do here, I went from the top down, very simply because A, I thought it was easy to keep track of, and then B, I also think that it's important that the last thing to be warmed up should be what you'll use the most. So in this case, we'll be using our legs the most. We want that to be the warmest part of our body as we head out. Also, our magic number is 10, so we want to do 10 reps with everything we're going to do. Again, you can do more at home if you'd like to, but just makes it easy to keep track of in your brain. And then also, I've made this into a standing routine. Now, many of these exercises I actually might show to patients with them kneeling or on the ground. But in this case, it may be too cold, there may be a rough surface, something like that. So in this case, I've designed this specifically to be a standing routine. And then finally, this is obviously not an all-encompassing routine. It's just a quick, easy to follow warm-up that I put together for you, and hopefully it'll help you out throughout your training season. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with some trunk rotations. Here we go. So with trunk rotation, what I'm doing here is I'm rotating my body around my neck pretty much. I keep a fixed point with my nose. I rotate my trunk around it. This is just to warm up some muscles of my spine. And it's actually very overlooked that a lot of times runners will have back, neck, and upper shoulder complaints. So that's why the next thing that we're going to do after 10 reps there, we're going to move on to arm swings. So I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. My lead leg is forward. I'm going to fling my arm back and then come up just like this. All right, so the reason I'm doing this, I'm starting to warm my spine and my abdominals up a little bit. And also, again, I'm warming up that shoulder girdle. Very common complaint with runners is to have shoulder girdle complaints, particularly in the upper and inner shoulder blade area. Okay? All right, 10 there. So now we'll move on to 10 this side. Again, lead leg forward, arm goes back. Very loose here. So notice my fingers are very relaxed. It's like a pendulum I'm swinging here. I'm not being stiff. I'm not trying to muscle this. Very loose kind of athletic movement here. Okay? Do just a few more. 9, last one, for 10. All right, so now we're going to move on to cat camel. So cat camel is a good spinal mobility self-exercise. What I'll do here is I'll be putting my hands on my knees like this, nice flat back. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pretend that a string is pulling my mid back towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to arch my back, and now the string's pulling my sternum. So it looks like this, here for 2, 3, 4, no pain with this, and no pain with any of these stretches, by the way. Good. 7, 8, 9, notice I move my head 2, and 10. All right, so the next thing we move on to, we're going to be doing something called bird dog, okay? I'll turn to the side and step back a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So with bird dog here, I'm going to move one arm and the opposite leg backwards at the same time. So here, I'll move this leg back, this arm back, and then change sides. What I'm doing here is warming up my crossed extension mechanism, which AKA is why you move your arms when you run. Very important. Energy saving mechanism, force production mechanism. This just gets all the right muscles firing in the right sequence. Notice my spine stays fairly neutral and straight here as I move my hip back behind my body. All right. And last one there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to figure 4 stretch. Okay, so this is actually for our glutes. So come up just a little bit here. Going to bring my knee up, grab my foot, rotate here. If I lack flexibility, I could just bring my knee up and across my body. But I don't lack the flexibility, so it looks like this. 1, 2, here we go. 3, no pain with this again. 4, okay, keep your spine nice and tall. Nice and relaxed here. Warming up our glutes, glute medius, our deep external rotator muscles of the hip. Really important players to keeping your knees, hips, and lower extremity healthy. And that's 10 right there. Okay, so the next thing we'll move on to will be our hamstring flexibility. I'll turn to the side so you can see. So let me show you what not to do first. I don't want this. I see this all the time. This is a back stretch, okay? This is not a good hamstring stretch. Keep your spine neutral, nice and straight, and you're gonna bring straight leg up, just like this. I'm not even gonna worry about tapping here. I actually just use almost like a running motion. So here, 1, 2. Notice here, my back stays straight, okay? I'm not doing this every time, okay? Some of you may lack this flexibility, and it may look a little bit more like this right here. That's okay. But if you got enough flexibility, try to go up to about waist level, okay? Almost done here. 10. Okay, so now moving on to some hip flexor stretching. So hip flexors, group of muscles. We're gonna be working on one here called the psoas. I'll turn this way so you can see first. Staggered stance, back foot faces straight forward. Squat into it a little bit. Now I do something called a posterior pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis back like this, which means basically I'm tucking my butt up underneath, I'm bringing my tummy in, I'm flattening my back. It's all saying the same thing. Whatever makes the most sense for you. I'll go right here, and then I'm going to imagine that someone's pulling my waistband straight forward this way. Dynamically, here. 1, back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side now. Staggered stance again. Back foot faces straight forward. Posterior pelvic tilt, nice and flat through here. Someone's pulling me right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to do some quad warm up here, okay? Turn face this way so you can see. So here's what I don't want first. I don't want a big arch in my back, okay? Keep your spine fairly neutral. You're probably noticing a theme. Grab, a little tuck back. Here, 1, 2, 3. Nice and light here. If you lack the flexibility to do this, then you can do something more like this, okay? But if you can make it with no pain, we'll do this, okay? Good. Good. Last one there. All right, so now we're moving on to our adductors, our groin muscles, okay? So we're gonna do some adductor stretching. Wide stance, feet face straight forward. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to lean in one direction as I squat there. So let me do it towards you, so I'll show you one time. Okay, we won't count this one as a rep, we'll just do it towards you here. My hips go back, kind of like you're doing a squat, okay? My hips go back as I lean in this direction. So now I'll go ahead and start. So we'll go for 1, 2. Good, so we'll keep going right here. And then if you want to add a little bit more of a dynamic motion here, which again, dynamic just meaning functional, preparing you for what you're going to do, you can add a little twist like this. Optional, you can do it if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. All right, so that's working on our adductors, our groin muscles there. Now we're going to move on to our calves. I'll bring this step over here. Now, I realize you probably won't have a step handy like this per se, but you can use a curb, you can use a step for some stairs, just whatever you want to. But I'll turn this towards you this way here. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll have my heels hanging off. I'm going to just drive one heel down, and I'll switch like this, just like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, ideally you would want some kind of hand support there. And now we'll show you how to warm up the front of your calves, okay? Everyone always thinks about warming up the back part, but we forget about these really important muscles in the front. For this one, we'll do one side at a time. I'll just have my toes hanging off, and what I'm gonna do here is very simply go from neutral. So neutral meaning 90-degree angle right here. I don't have to worry about coming way up here, and I'll let that go down under some body weight and back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, not really trying to stretch there, okay? More of actually warming muscle up. 1, 2, 3. Notice I let this go down just a little bit, okay? Kind of squat down with it a little bit there. 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. All right, and then the last thing we'll show is warming our feet up, okay? Actually, weakness of your digital flexors, or the muscles that flex your toes, that is one of the most accurate early predictors of heel pain and plantar fasciitis. So let's warm those guys up. What we're gonna do here is start with flat feet. We're gonna curl the toes into our shoes, go up on our toes a little bit. So it looks like this. 1, doing this the whole time. 2, 3, don't cramp or anything. 4, 5, 6, keep curling. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoy your run, and I just want to thank you for watching my video. If you'd like more information on this, check out my website. It's advancedchiropractickc.com. Again, that's advancedchiropractickc.com, or my blog site, performancecare.blogspot.com. Thanks a lot, and I hope this is a benefit to you.